Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. Nobody can stop federal government. That's Lai Mohammed himself is the federal government. Okay? Nobody can stop federal government from prohibiting ENDSARS protesters. Lai Mohammed. Lai Mohammed said nobody can stop ENDSARS protesters from stop federal government from prohibiting ENDSARS protesters, because him himself is the federal government. Lai Mohammed himself, just him himself. Why? Because of his no other minister associate themselves with federal government too. Once Lai Mohammed speaks, guys, please, I want to take note of that. They will address it as federal government. Why? It was strategically picked by Buhari to cover his track. They are part of those who are hiding the man behind the mask. You don't know, there is a lot of hidden games going on currently now in Nigeria as we speak. There is a lot of things going on presently now in Nigeria as we speak. Lai Mohammed is one person who is chasing ENDSARS protesters and making it look like, they committed a sin for asking for good governance. Let's carry on and get all the details. The federal government says being a member of ENDSARS protest is not an immunity from being investigated or charged for any offense or breach of the law. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, stated this on Friday in Lagos at a meeting with editors of newspaper. The minister, who was responding to a question on the alleged arrest of some ENDSARS protesters and sponsors, said nobody is above the investigation or prosecution. Being a member of ENDSARS protest does not guarantee you immunity. If you have committed any crime against the land, the key thing is that you must be treated according to the law. What have you done to B-boys? What have you done to B-boys? Till today, they said 43. That's what Nigerian government said, though, because United Nations told us it was 110. For at least Nigeria, let's just follow Nigerian government record. 43 human beings were beheaded in this country. Nothing has been done. Nobody held accountable. Nobody has lost their job or on suspension in account of this to investigate the matter. Nothing is going on presently as we speak. In fact, when Garuba Shehu was to speak, Garuba Shehu said, what I'm saying is that the farmers, it was their fault that they were killed. That was what Garuba Shehu said. They would have taken permission from the army before going ahead before they go ahead and before they go ahead and go to their farm for any kind of, harvest. Let's continue. He said the key thing is that they will be treated according to the full route of the law. Even those whose accounts were frozen, the Central Bank of Nigeria went to court to seek permission to freeze the account. I am also aware that some of them whose international passports were seized has been returned. None can stop the government from investigating anybody, including ENDSARS protesters. Whoever you are and whatever you are doing, you must take the law into, you cannot take the law into your hand. You must be prosecuted. None can stop the federal government's investigation, including the ENDSARS protesters and their lawyers. Whoever you are, you must face the law of the land. You must follow the due process, because where your right ends is where someone else's right begins. So we are saying Lai Mohammed said there is clampdown now on protesters and supporters aiding to the ENDSARS, and we must make sure that due process is followed to investigate all that happened. My people, it's currently happening now as we speak. ENDSARS protesters are being chased by federal government. It is important that we all stand up and tell the truth. It is important that we all know what is going on. I just want you guys to know that you have a right. Let your voice be heard. Nigerian youth came out during the month of October to protest against the government's insensitivity to our continuous cry and plea to say we are tired of injustice in the land. Especially at this time, the police units called the SARS were the ones destabilizing Nigerians and making Nigerians feel that they have committed a crime A lot was going on currently in the country, which is even still going on. And all Nigerians had to do was to make sure that they come out, which is the only way they can do that. And speak up, to make sure that their voices are heard. Well, that was not the only thing that happened. Oh. They are also crying out for good governance. What is it? As at that time, 8 months before that time, Nigerian students have been home. They've been home. No one, was talking about them resuming back to school, getting their education back on track. Nigerian government played nude as if nothing was going on. Well, their children were traveling abroad, entering plane and going to the other countries, studying and returning back, at their time. So they can't be bothered about the common man children on the streets. What's their business? Whether they get it. In fact, if they have their way, they don't want you to be educated. Go and see what they do to them in the north. They tell them that it's a sin to go to school. They try to discourage them and even tell them to go into what we call a Hamajari school. You see children as young as 5, 6. These boys, parents, no love, no nothing. Just throw these children into studying of, religious study without going into today's 21st century learning for them to be able to keep up with the times that they are in, reality on check of who they really are. No such thing being in place. All they send these children to do is that they send these children, into those kind of schools. No problem. These children have gone into these kind of schools, and guess what they do to the young girls? Instead of empowering them to go to school, develop, because girls need to develop to be able to mother a child. They put these children into what we call hardship from a young age. They put them into mental torture and subject them to slavery. I can explain to you very well. I'm a female myself. I know exactly what they are doing to these girls. It's a mental torture. Imagine a child of 7 and 8. They will give that child out in marriage legally to mentally torture that child. So when a man of 35, a man of 40, 60, is what do you expect? What is the name called for a man of that such an age touching a little girl? They will tell you is his wife. Guess what they are doing to that child? That child will go through undue pain and torture. And guess what? The person will beat her mercilessly because it's not his equal. It's supposed to be his grandchild or his child's mate, So they bring her to that subjection, that place where she's mentally tortured and deranged, and she cannot even stand up for herself. And whatever they tell her, like a mumu, she obeys. Her own is to become a baby factory. By 24, she already have 12 children. And Nigerians, we need to wake up. In fact, it's very disheartening talking about what goes on in the north. Leave us a comment. God bless you. Bye for now.